Let me tell you, not hating yourself is awesome. And as someone that has lived on both sides of this fence, can confirm the grass is definitely greener over here. But maybe you are currently stuck on the other side. That's okay. And also super normal if you are a person with ADHD. But if you are tired of perfecting and performing and people pleasing just to feel worthy, this video is going to give you a way forward and teach you how to build rock solid self-esteem from the inside out. And stick around because I have a free resource to help you do just that. I'm Tiff, neuroscience professor with a PhD and a mom of two with ADHD, and I am on a mission to help women with ADHD go from overwhelmed and barely surviving to energetic, empowered, and truly thriving in harmony with your brain so that you can build a life that you love. That's what we do here on this channel, and that's where we dive deeper with the amazing women in my program, the ADHD Success Lab. So let's go. So what is self-esteem and why does it matter? Self-esteem is your belief in your value, your worth, and your regard for yourself. Having self-esteem allows you to act with courage even outside your comfort zone so that you can build confidence when you're doing or trying new things. Self-esteem helps you align your behavior with your actual values and needs so that everything is aligned. That means you're not just doing what looks good on paper or what you think other people want you to do, but what truly is aligned with what you want and what you need. And self-esteem allows you to bounce back from failure, rejection, and just those hard things that will pop up inevitably as you move through life. And because of all these effects on your mental health and your actions, self-esteem even promotes better physical well-being. Basically, self-esteem is the foundation everything else in your life is built on, so you want that to be rock solid, not just look good from the outside. So a lot of people, especially women with ADHD, fall into this trap of sort of conditional self-esteem or conditional self-acceptance. If I do X, then I'm worthy. If I just keep my house clean, keep my desk organized, fold my laundry, get through that entire to-do list, meet everyone else's expectations, be a super mom and a super worker and a super spouse and a super housekeeper and a super friend and all the things all the way, all the time, then I'll be worthy. The problem is that every time you jump over one hurdle, you just end up adding more. This just ends up moving the finish line of when you get to feel worthy, so you never actually do. And that's why this foundation is so important, because you want to feel worthy all the time, regardless of how you're performing in any given point in your life. And this is impossible when that finish line keeps moving. Do you see what I'm saying? Like you get the promotion or you get your whole kitchen clean, and then a day or two later, maybe even an hour, you're back to feeling not enough and you're chasing that next source of validation. That is exhausting. It's also completely unpredictable, and that is dangerous. And this happens when your self-worth is linked to something outside of you. You can have all the success in the world and you can still feel empty and not enough, because achievement itself will not fix your self-worth. I know because I have been there. I lived there for a very long time. You may have been raised to please people, succeed at all costs, win approval, or keep the peace. Maybe you were rewarded for being smart or easy or such a good kid. And maybe some of those things came easy to you when life was simpler, but maybe now life has gotten more complicated. And now when those things become harder for you, you feel like you are failing because you're not doing things as well. Do you see how that works? Because now life is so much more complex, right? You're adulting, maybe you have a job or you're running the house, you're taking care of maybe the kids, maybe you have a partner, you have friends, like everyone needs a lot of things from you all the time. And then add to the fact that if you're a woman in your 40s or above, you're dealing with hormonal shifts like perimenopause, menopause, etc. Like it is no wonder. This is when so many women that I speak to hit a wall and just feel like they are failing at life. This was me. Chasing this external self-esteem backfired on me big time. And the truth is, I just didn't know any other way to be. Even though everything was going great, I only felt good about myself when I was doing the next thing. And this caused me to try to do and achieve and have so many things at once that I ended up just burning out, which made me much less functional, which made me feel like so much worse as a person. I felt then like a bad mom, a bad professor, a bad wife, bad everything. I didn't know there could be another source of self-esteem besides achieving. And I promise there's a better way. And I have great news for you because self-esteem is not fixed. It is not permanent. It's not hardwired. It is teachable thanks to neuroplasticity, which is just your brain's innate flexibility and willingness to adapt. You can literally teach your brain to believe in your own self-worth, and I'm going to show you how. So you can get it from two sources, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So you can get your self-esteem from external sources, aka what you do or what people tell you about your value, or you can get it from internal sources, in other words, who you are. And here's the problem with external self-esteem. It is an unreliable source. So external esteem is based on things like achievements, money, looks, validation from other people, compliments from other people. External self-esteem requires constant performance. You always have to be succeeding in order to feel good, or you always have to be getting praise from others in order to feel good about yourself. Now, this can pull you out of alignment with your values and your needs because when you are performing to please others, you are not looking out for yourself. You're not making decisions based on what you need. This is that dangerous cycle that I got into where I'm people pleasing, I'm doing too much, I'm trying to succeed, I'm ignoring what I need, all the warning signs that I'm getting, and eventually burned out real hard. And on top of it, still didn't like myself all that much. So when you don't have external sources of esteem coming in, you feel anxious. As well you should, because you're actually powerless to generate those sources on a consistent basis. You're putting your self-esteem in the hands of others or in the hands of outcomes that you can't necessarily control. And this will lead you to people-pleasing and to burnout. And so I just want to be clear that external sources of esteem can feel good. It feels good when you get recognition. It feels good when you succeed. And you should be proud when you do. But I'm going to tell you how to get that esteem from internal sources, even when you feel proud of those external achievements. All right, so your internal esteem is based on who you are. So it's based on your internal personal traits. Are you funny? Are you logical? Are you compassionate? Are you kind? Are you brave? Are you curious? Are you persistent? Are you resilient? Are you enthusiastic? These are all things you are regardless of what you're doing. And those are the traits you want to start to identify within yourself. The good news is your internal traits are 100% within your control because they are 100% there regardless of how you're acting. And let me just clear this up. Nobody has 100% of positive internal traits, but everyone has a whole bunch of positive internal traits that are unique to you and are what make you an amazing, interesting, awesome person that the world needs. So let's figure out what those are. So when you build that internal esteem, you stop outsourcing your self-esteem to other people and to things you can't control. So this is how we build internal self-esteem in the ADHD Success Lab. And this is what I did for myself as well. And this approach is simple, but it's so beautiful. What we do is we make a badass list. Now I have a free copy for you of this in the description, but here's how it works. So first, it's going to have you list all the positive internal traits you can come up with. Be generous. Think brave, funny, loyal, caring, creative, curious, etc. Okay, so these are your internal traits that are always there no matter what. Then I want you to write down the things in your life that you are proud of achieving, overcoming, or surviving. Okay, we have all been through some things. We have all achieved some things. We have all survived some things. So I want you to list those out, but then here's the magic. You ready? Once you list those things you've done, next to those things, I want you to list the internal traits that you always possess that allowed you to achieve those things, overcome those things, survive those things. So the key here is to link the internal traits with the things that you do. Because those internal traits, let's be honest, are the things that make all of that possible. They are what actually makes you your own brand of awesome. This will teach your brain to stop linking your self-worth to luck or to your hustle and start linking your self-worth to the traits that you always possess, regardless of whether you are succeeding at something in the moment. The example I always use is that having a PhD in and of itself does not make me an awesome person. I'm proud of getting my PhD, but what allowed me to get my PhD was actually my creativity, my persistence, my curiosity, my logical reasoning. And those traits were there before I got my PhD. They've been there long after I got my PhD. And they're what make me awesome. And I guarantee you the people in my life that love me don't love me because I have a PhD. And if I didn't have it, I'd still be that same person. And the thing I love about this the most is that it is evidence-based. It is not a bunch of empty affirmations that you're telling yourself, and you already have evidence that you are because you've lived a life where these traits have shown up over and over and over again. And one of the reasons I started the ADHD Success Lab was seeing so many people who are so awesome feel so bad about themselves just because of external forces that were outside of their control. And I felt like I could see how awesome they were, but they couldn't. And I feel like if people with ADHD can start to see their own worth, we are going to be able to change the world, because the world is a better place when people with ADHD are doing the things that light them up. And that is really hard to do if you hate yourself. And I really do sincerely want to change that. And so I want to be clear here. When we are talking about self-love, this does not mean giving yourself a pass or having no expectations for what you can achieve. I think self-love is actually the opposite of that. Because when you feel like you are worthy, then you realize that you are worthy of happiness. You are worthy of a life you love. You are worthy of being healthy, mentally and physically. Once you realize that, you will go make that happen for yourself. Low self-esteem makes it hard to take action because you don't trust yourself and you're not taking actions that are actually aligned with what you want and need because you don't have that solid belief in your own worth. You trust other people's ideas about what you should be doing or external definitions of success, this was me, more than you trust your internal feelings of what is successful, what is happy. So when you have that rock solid foundation of self-worth, you can then trust your own definition of what is happy look like for you. What does success look like for you? What does a life you love look like for you? And then you can start building it. And then the possibilities are limitless. I'm so excited for you guys to try this badass list. So truly come back in the comments once you download it. Let me know how it goes. Let me know what you figure out about yourself. And then watch this video next for my #1 way to actually beat ADHD overwhelm. You got this.